them using the seeder, we're going to have to go in with a fertilizer to top up what's in there. Okay, north is that way. Oh. Need to take a look. Whoops. So if we come up the side here and possibly cut in around over here. And if we put it in drive, that might be a better idea. So I think I'll cut along this edge and then somewhere I'll make a cut in. But yeah, growth isn't super fast, but I think it's an acceptable level. The biggest problem I have now when we're purchasing the new fields is trying not to have a field where the current owner plants a crop in it before I get to buying it. Because the field is not going to be treated with lime, it's not going to be there's not going to be soil analysis done on it. So I need to buy a field and analyse the soil on the field and hopefully be able to work from there. If it's already been planted, then realism-wise I won't be able to put lime down, but we will be able to get it fully fertilised. But buying a field with nothing in it is the ideal situation. And the problem is we're not going to have money until Christmas time. So I have to hope that the farmers who currently own those fields aren't going to slap some crop in it immediately. Now I could plough it in anyway, add the lime, but if I do that, then the field is going to have a nitrogen boost from the ploughed in crop, and that risks I may not be able to put in an oil seed into those fields just because their nitrogen levels would be elevated from ploughing in a crop. That's not a good plan. We should be able to go around here quite a few times because this is the poor soil quality end of the field. 11:30. Truck's over the end there, so that's not too far off. I'm going to run up and down these bits until this patch on the right gets suitably small, which may be the next pass, and we'll just finish that out. See, I like to keep planning for what I'm doing. What's the plan for next year? So the plan for next year is to increase our arable crops. I probably won't make a plan for the following year until we get round to seeing what sort of harvest we're getting out of our then current holding of fields, how the sheep flocks are holding up and things like that. But I fully expect to completely blow out our sheep capacity next year, and we're going to have a major task of selling 750 sheep every year from that point onwards. which should be a good income. Just because 750 sheep is, that's going to be a big deal. Not actually sure how much sheep cost, but 750 sheep sale a year is going to be a big thing. At that point, yeah, the farm is just going to go orbital in a very short time. Come on. And we missed a bit. That's okay. I think that bit's about header width. No. Oh, yes. That bit there. Yeehaw. Alrighty. So that's that bit done. Let's find a cut-in point. So around about there. Okay, very quickly, let's run over here. We are doing Dorset sheep, which are 386 new at this time of year. Sheep we have are 323, so oops, jump back to the truck. So 386 times 750 is 285,000 income from sheep sales per year, potentially. Of course, that doesn't take into account we sell them about there. It's not a big variation in value of sheep then, because that's what, 350. Well, that's current price is supposed to be 280. Oh, that's per 1,000 litres or something. I don't think that's a per sheep cost, but I don't know. Anyway, we have sheep, and we will be selling them yearly from now onwards, or from next year onwards. So that's going to be a massive source of income for us. And we're still selling the wool, it's just that the wool sales then become almost negligible. 30,000, maybe a little bit more, I'll have to see. But yeah. Sheep for shepherd's pie rather than wool for woolly sweaters. That's where the money's going to be. And then we still, yeah, even this year we're going to sell some of our sheep. So there's going to be a little bit of sheep sale this year, just not as excessive as it's potentially going to be next year. I'll sell 250 of them this year. No, we'll see. Also, the other thing is next year the sheep or the new sheep that we produce this year aren't going to be old enough to produce sheep next year by about a factor of 0.3 of a year. So the full growth potential is the year after. Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all works out as we come along. Also might need to get ourselves a semi, I don't know, I was thinking I might need to get a semi-trailer to transport the sheep down to the trader, but that animal dealer yard isn't ideal for getting large trailers into and out of. It's kind of like Hilltop Farms here, the sell point directly in front of us. I'm not using the semi-trailer to ship stuff up there. I'm using the skip attachment for the back of the truck, just because it's such a bad place to maneuver. I think all of the other sell points we can get the semi-trailer in without too much of an issue, but Hilltop Store's really way too tight. He's got a very bad entrance. And the way the yard is organised, just not conducive to big haulage equipment. But it's not too big, it's closest to the farm, so I don't really mind using a 30,000 litre skip or whatever it is we have to get that done. The semi-trailer's only 48, so it's not like we've got a huge semi-trailer either. So was it the sugar beets? Yeah, beginning of winter we're going to start selling some of our crops, so that's when our income starts. Plus there's always contracts, yeah. From here on in, we've done the, let's go back and grab that. Yeah, we've done our main harvest end of today. We have the clover to do, which obviously I'm missing. Oh well. As I said earlier, we can do the clover any time before the snow comes. And the rest of fall, we can do everybody else's work with our equipment. So we have made quite a bit of income off of contracts this year. So much so I cancelled my plans of cheating in money to buy the mowing equipment. Yeah, the thing was on Oxygen David's version of this map, before we had the hard drive crash, I had all the mowing equipment and mapping equipment that I needed, so I wasn't, I needed to replace it, but I needed to replace it with something that did clover, and I wasn't sure which mowers worked with clover, which wrappers worked with clover, which balers worked with clover, so that was all going to be a very expensive, potentially, experiment. and we already owned the equipment before the hard drive crash, so I kind of wanted to replace what I already had, or at least replace what I had with something that worked with what I now have. But I made so much money from contracts that I just decided, well, we're not going to cheat the money in, we're just going to use the money that we've made from the contracts to achieve the goal of restoring the grass handling equipment we already had. So we had to say goodbye to the Anderson X tractor because it doesn't accept clover bales. And we did try out the Vicon fast baler, but that's broken when it comes to clover. Speed limit is 4 miles an hour, whereas the non-wrapping square baler runs at speed on the clover, so it's quicker to just square bale it and then follow up with a square bale wrapper. So that's what we've ended up with. But I had all the money in the bank to be able to just pay for that, and then some. The other nice thing we've discovered is that there are so many contracts available on this map. We're not limited to about 5 fields like the base Oxygen David's map. There's a lot of money to be made. I mean, what's this one? 28,000 fertilizer. Yeah, we've just run around with a fertilizer spreader. Yay. Did I see a 30,000? Oh, it's 45. Baling field 7. I'm not sure field 7 is actually that big either. But I'm going to do my field before I do theirs. So, we can add 3, 4, 500,000 just doing contracts over the next, 7 days in 4 that we've got left to do. And the only thing we've got to do is harvest our potatoes, harvest our clover sometime in there. The potatoes aren't even ready yet. And so making money is a lot easier on this. How many contracts have we actually done? That panel there. So we're up to 35 completed so far. We need to do 200 to get the achievement. 200, 100. So I'm on Ungertsheim. I did 50 in the first year, and there was the plan to play a second year. Unfortunately, the hard drive crash eliminated the game save. But I was on target to complete 100. I'm not sure I'm on target to complete 100 in 2 years on this playthrough, but it's really close. I'm guessing there's some sunflowers there that I missed. I'm not sure. Difficult, it's not enough to create a plant, but at distance it looks like there's a bit of a row that I missed on the previous pass up this way. I think it's less than a width, so down here, we'll come back up to the top and then do a unload and cut through again. The best plan. we're at 76%. We're getting to the longer part of the field, so there's the potential that we won't make a full cut through. Okay, so if I line that up there, see if anything happens as we get further down the field. I think there is a less than a pixel wide of sunflowers there, and when we hit it, we'll see the harvesting effect right in the middle of the header, or wherever I hit it at. And it should be coming up right about now. Oh, there's the dust. There is, yeah, chopping sunflowers effect. So I had missed a little bit, but it was one of those not very significant. Oh. Left side unload. Getting so used to sugar beets from last week, which unloads to the right. The paintwork on this thing is getting a little bit old. We only used it once. Well, have we? I aged it about 30 hours when we reset. So it is a piece of equipment that the paintwork ages a lot faster than a lot of the other things we have on the farm. I think the Class Axion looks kind of old too. But the Challenger looks fairly pristine, and it has roughly the same sort of hours as the Class. And it looks kind of cool. But yeah, no expansion of equipment. And at least I don't feel the need for an expansion of equipment right this moment. Because it just adds to farm costs and things like that. So we'll do what we're doing for now. Oh. Drink's all gone. We're coming up to midday. Teardrop around the bottom. So, how long? Oh, that was the other thing I was going to check before we end for the day. So, I'm going to fill the harvester at least once more, or close to it. Obviously, we'll do a couple of rows here. If we have to set in for another cut through, I'm figuring the harvester's going to be too full, so we'll unload the harvester at least once more before the cut through. Don't think we're going to fill it with how much we've taken a bite out here. I think I'll be able to test the Land Rover to end this on. And if the Land Rover Defender works, we'll get rid of the pickup. And I'm not going to mess with the money, it's just going to be what it is. But getting the Land Rover Defender is a direct replacement of what we had before the hard drive failure, so I'm okay with that. So again, it looks like there's a pixel worth of sunflowers which we're catching on the left hand edge of this header. Not enough to trigger a graphic display of the crop, but it is enough to trigger the harvesting animation. How are we doing? 67% full. It's 2/3. Going to be another case of how close am I to the full width of the header as we come back. We're getting into the high yield part of the field too, so this is where we're actually going to fill the tank up first. And then the other thing we haven't really had the opportunity to play with, supposedly with seasons, you've got crop rotation. And if you don't rotate the crops, you get a poorer yield each year. But I don't know how that programming logic plays with the precision farming and whether it's in effect or not. Am I getting a boost to yield if I plant oilseed after cereal? Or is the bonus with precision farming that I don't have to put out as much fertilizer on an oilseed crop because it needs a lower nitrogen content than the other stuff than cereal crops do. Okay, let us do this thing.